Good morning. Thank you for coming out on this chilly morning to the 2025 Veterans Recognition Parade. Thank every one of you for coming out on a chilly morning. I know it's not always easy to get out of bed and get down here, but it is important to show our veterans that we remember what they did for us. I'm pretty sure that wasn't the whole parade. If you see someone around you who indicates by clothing or by what they've said that they didn't serve our country, please make sure and extend your hand out to them and thank them for their service. It's not something that anyone has to do, it's something that people do because they choose to. All right, the parade is rolling off its starting point. I think that usually means 3 minutes or so. Each year we select 4 veterans from our community to act as parade marshals, one representing each branch of the military service. So we will have a marshal this morning who represents the United States Air Force, another, the Army, the Marines, and the U.S. Navy. And we'll be introducing them one at a time as they come through. front of the parade, as always, is the Hastings Police Department. Keep in mind that many of our police officers were, in fact, serving in our military in a previous time in their lives, and so many of our military people do, in fact, come home and continue their service in different ways, so we thank them. Our Marshal representing the United States Air Force this morning is Airman First Class Don Smith. He was born and raised in Shelton, Nebraska. He graduated from Shelton High School on May 16, 1956 at 17 years old. He entered basic training on June 12, 1956 at Parks Air Force Base, California. After training in organizational supply, unit supply, and weapons supply, Airman Smith was stationed at Ashiya Air Force Base, Japan for 2 years. In 1958, Don came back to Lincoln Air Force Base before transferring to Greece in 1962, and then Hill Air Force Base in Utah, where he worked in aircraft supply, completing his tour of duty in 1965. While in the Air Force, Airman Smith received the Good Conduct, Longevity, Efficiency, Honor, and Fidelity medals. He was also awarded the Supply Man of the Month. Don and his wife live in Hastings and have 4 children. He served on the Hastings City Council from 1984 to 88 and was a member of the Community Redevelopment Authority, where he served as chairman. As a member of the Hastings Optimist Club, Don served 1 term as president. He's a member of St. Cecilia's Catholic Church. Please have a round of applause for our Air Force Marshal, Don Smith. Representing the U.S. Army is Sergeant Frank Smedra. Frank James Smedra arrived in the world on March 24, 1944. His parents, John and Grace, farmed in the area of the Loup Valley, and Frank grew up as a middle son in a family of 3 boys. Frank graduated from Loup City High School in May of 1962. Like many Nebraska farm boys of that generation, Frank's life revolved around country school, farm chores, hunting, and fishing. That would all change in the 1960s. Frank enlisted in the U.S. Army and was inducted on 28 April 1966 at the Loup City Local Board 85. He was sent to Fort Linwood, Missouri for basic training, followed by advanced jungle infantry and light weapons training at Fort Polk, Louisiana. Sergeant Smedra arrived in Vietnam in October 1966. He was assigned to the 1st Infantry Division, 1st 16th A Company. Sergeant Smedra was wounded while serving in Vietnam. He spent 2 years in Japan recovering from his injuries. He was given the choice to go back to the United States, but chose instead to rejoin his unit, saying, "I need to get back to my boys." During his tour of duty, Frank received the Vietnam Service Medal with Bronze Service Star, National Defense Service Medal, Vietnam Campaign Medal, Army Commendation Medal, and on 4 December of 1966, Sergeant Frank Smedra was awarded the Purple Heart. Sergeant Smedra was honorably discharged on April 26, 1968. After his time in the Army, Frank married Elizabeth Lewandowski, and on October 18, 1969, he and his wife Elizabeth raised 2 daughters and 1 son. He spent his working career of 40 years employed by the Loup Valley Public Power District in Ord as a lineman and retired in 2008. He's a life member of the Ord VFW and served as a volunteer fireman for 46 years in Ord. Frank moved to Hastings in 2016 and is a member of St. Cecilia's Catholic Church. Please welcome our 2025 Army Marshal, Sergeant Frank Smedra. Representing the United States Marine Corps, we have Lance Corporal Valerie Seabrass. She was born and raised in Hastings and graduated from Hastings High School in 1984. 6 days after her 18th birthday, she boarded a bus for Parris Island, North Carolina as a United States Marine recruit. During basic training, she qualified on several military weapons, including the M16. Lance Corporal Seabrass auditioned for the Marine Corps Band and was selected for her vocal abilities, playing the piano and bass drums. While serving as a member of the Marine Corps Band, She was stationed at LFTC Norfolk, Virginia, and the 1st Marine Division, Camp Pendleton, California. During her time with the band, her unit played at events in Canada, Wisconsin, Nevada, California, and the 1985 and 87 Rose Bowl parades. They also covered many military balls and many other special events for the Marine Corps. She was called up for service in Desert Storm. She served 4 years active and 4 years inactive duty, separating from the Marine Corps in April of 1992. After returning to Hastings, Valerie became involved with the Hastings Volunteer Fire Department, a violinist with the Hastings Civic Symphony, and was involved with the music ministry at Hastings Presbyterian Church. Valerie and her husband have 2 children. They enjoy hunting and fishing together. The family has participated in catfish tournaments in Kansas, where Valerie reeled in a 68-pound blue catfish. Please welcome our 2025 United States Marine Corps Parade Marshal, Lance Corporal Valerie Seabrass. And this morning, representing the U.S. Navy, is Bo Jack Huffman, PO 2nd Class. Bo Jack Huffman entered the United States Navy on December 29, 1997. He went to the recruiting station with his grandfather, Jack Norman, and his uncle Mac. His Papa Jack joined the Navy during World War II and served in the Western Pacific. His uncle served in the Marines and flew F-4 Phantoms. His brother John served in the U.S. Air Force, and brother Nels served in the Nebraska National Guard. Bo graduated boot camp at Great Lakes and was sent to Pensacola, Florida for A-school training in avionics, mechanic, and egress, plus receiving ordnance certification. After graduation, Bo was sent to join Training Squad VFA 125, temporary duty, before joining his permanent assignment at VFA 151 in Lemoore Naval Station, California. During AME training, he learned about ejection seats and the environmental control systems for the FA-18 Hornet. Huffman was deployed in 1999 and 2001 to Westpac Sea Duty on board the aircraft carrier CV-64 USS Constellation. The carrier spent 3 months in the Persian Gulf enforcing no-fly zones. Bo honorably discharged out of the Navy on December 29, 2001. In May of 2004, Bo married Brooke Howman. They have 3 children at home. He currently owns and operates One Great Nutrition on South Burlington Avenue. Please welcome Petty Officer 2nd Class Bo J. Huffman as our 2025 Navy Marshal. Standing before me is the KHS Junior ROTC Color Guard. The Kearney High Junior ROTC program is presenting the colors this morning. The program was formed in 2024 and currently consists of over 60 cadets. Today the colors are being carried by Joaquin, Colin Bain, Flor Vasquez, and Robbie Polson. The Bearcat Battalion is led by Major Paul Stott and Sergeant First Class Tim Ullman. Singing the national anthem this morning will be a group of vocal students from Hastings Middle School. As you're able, please stand, remove your caps, face a flag, and honor our country.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so
Coming around the corner, we have the Hastings Fire Department, as I said, with the police. So many of our firefighters are in fact military veterans, and we want to thank them for their service, not only during their active duty years, but also as firefighters in our community. Coming up, we have a group of Girl Scouts who came out on a chilly morning to walk in our parade. We thank them for being here, and they thank our veterans for their service. Behind the Girl Scouts, we have Alpha Troop 134th Cavalry. Consists of cavalry scouts that perform reconnaissance duties and has supported Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan, Operation Iraqi Freedom, Nebraska state emergencies, national emergencies, and numerous other contingencies back to World War II since its inception in Nebraska in July of 1921. Behind the cavalry, we have the Adams Central Marching Band. The Patriot Band consists of 50 members and is led by drum major Will Fago. Last spring, they had traveled to Chicago where they performed at Six Flags. The Patriot Band would like to extend their appreciation to all veterans and active military for their service. And also back to 07. That's what I get for reading a banner. Coming up next, American Legion Post 11 is participating in Veterans Honor, rendering hours to our veterans. They also sponsor Cub Scout Pack 3032 and Troop 125. They provide flag details to groups within the community and visit veterans in the retirement homes. The Legion also sponsors Nebraska Law Enforcement Academy, Boys State, Girls State, and State Oratory Program for high school students in Adams County. Riding in a 2014 Ram truck, USMC Plates passenger Ken Donnell retired with 20 plus years as Army Sergeant E6 Korean War vet, driving Steve Kelsey, E5 Sergeant USMC Vietnam veteran, supporting all branches of the military with Windsox flags. The American Legion Riders, Chapter 33, help the American Legion with projects they need help on, help with Patriot Guard riders when needed as well. Behind the riders, representing the Aurora VFW Post 4993, is Bob Dudley. He lives in Aurora, born in Hastings, driving a 1972 E-Heavy K20 pickup, bought in 1976. Behind him, we have the Hastings High School Band. The Marching Tigers are led by drum major Lillian Bryant and Madison Armade. Marching Tigers instructional staff are Troy Emke and Megan Santel. Directors, Kelsey Krieger, color guard, and Doyle Henshaw, percussion. Nebraska National Guard veterans on the shuttle today include Ron Lewis, Commissary 2nd Class, served on USS Ponce LPD-15 with the Navy from 70 to 76. Russ Barth served in the Army, paratrooper in Vietnam, 1968-69. Larry Holberg, U.S. Army, E-4, 68 to 70, Field Artillery. Fort Lewis, Washington, Fort Sill, Oklahoma, Bad Gießen, Germany. His daughter, Stacy Holberg Rasser, Sr., Airman, E-4 Air Force, 94 to 99. Special Ops, Herbert Field, FI, RAF, Lakenheath, UNK. His daughter, First Lieutenant Heidi Saunders, currently serving Army Reserve's Medical Readiness Unit, Topeka, Kansas. Her son Larry's grandson, Sergeant Brandon Saunders, Army Engineers, Fort Riley, Kansas, 21 to 25. Currently serving in the National Guard. Specialist Corps, Thomas Watts, was in the U.S. Army, November 67 to 69. Ray Skirlin, Nebraska National Guard, 66 to 72. Thanks to all of them for their service. The Chaparral Motorcycle Club, each year the Chaparrals have 2 poker runs and donate the money at the end of the year to local charities such as Juvenile Diabetes, The Bridge, CASA, Goodfellows, Salvation Army, Food Pantry, Encourage, The Pulse, The Zone, and Special Olympics. The Chaparrals also help Encourage with their 5K run, 1K walk. They meet monthly and discuss events for upcoming months. Behind them, we have Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. Freddy's has been happily serving the Hastings community since 2020. They're very involved in supporting our veterans every year. In the month of November, we hold a fundraiser for the Folds of Honor, which supports scholarships for the children of our military members. We also provide a free combo meal to every veteran on Veterans Day. Our namesake, Freddie Simon, was a veteran himself, earning the Purple Heart and a Bronze Star for Valor in his service during World War II. Marilyn Johnson is driving her red 2006 Volkswagen Beetle convertible. Riding with her is her husband, Harold Johnson, along with friend Melody Mangers. Harold joined the Army's Reserve Unit of the 295th Ordnance In May of 1966 here at Hastings, this unit was called to active duty in May of 1968. In July of 1968, Harold's unit was sent to Vietnam. He was there until July of 1969. Harold is currently serving as your Adams County Commissioner 1 year into his second term. Behind them, we have the Schroeder family. We support our military. We are bullish for our veterans. We have many family members and friends serving our country. The float honors Charles Lindrew, Wayne Katzberg, Richard Tawasa, Jim Schroeder, John Schroeder, Denny Schmidt, Ryan Carson, Rebecca Schroeder, and all service members. Representing American Legion Post 35 from Madison, Nebraska, are Alfredo Martinez and Larry Jutes, carrying Alice packs and 782 gear. And Tony Lewis is behind them, an old Vietnam sailor. It says Navy from 1963 to 67. Coming up next, we have Steve Cropley honoring James Rexford Hodson. James Rexford Hodson proudly served in the United States Air Force from 1952 to 57 during the Korean War. He was stationed in Germany, where he served as an aerial photographer with the 497th Squadron. James completed his basic training at Lackland Air Force Base in Texas during his time in service. He greatly enjoyed the opportunity to see the world and serve his country. James will be celebrating his 95th birthday on November 14th. Coming up behind them, we have the DAV transportation vehicle, which helps fulfill our promises to the men and women who served. Most days I drive to Grand Island and I see them on the road along the same direction as me a lot of days. Behind them we have Al Erickson. Al is driving a 65 Chevy Impala. Al was in the National Guard in South Dakota and Nebraska. Al retired to Hastings, pretty closer to his family, and is enjoying the good life in Hastings. Coming up next, we have two older cars, and it's representing the Eagles Club, first in Denver and Hastings. Cars owned by Thomas and Amanda Johnson. They lost a son in the Air Force by a motorcycle accident, and they support our wounded warriors. Car number 28 is a 1954 Hudson Hornet, and the car mark 29 is a 1941 Hudson Business Coupe. On the trolley bike, staying warm and pedaling hard, are Jerry McShane. He's in the Air Force in the National Guard. 6 years in the Air Force, 1970 to 76, and then 6 years in the National Guard, 1978 to 84. Also, Ron Davis joined the National Guard, 1964 to 70. He was a cook training in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. And Charles Hafer served from 1967 to 70 in the Army. Also on board is Rich Halloran, Army National Guard, Ken Robinson, Navy Seabee in Vietnam, 1964 to 70. Neil Jardina in the U.S. Navy from 1958 to 79. Jim Mears in the Army during the Iraq era, 1968 to 2006. John Woods in the Army. Ron Davis, Army National Guard, 1964 to 70. James Roth, Air Force. Ron Weber, Air Force, 64 to 68. James Hafer in the Army from 67 to 70. Jerry McShane, Air Force, 1970 to 84. Gaylord Crawford, Army, 1957 to 59, and Butch Sigmund, U.S. Navy, in 1969 with a medical discharge. Behind them, we have Streeter Electric, LLC from Donovan, Nebraska. Ken and Bev Stein's 1971 Dodge Super Bee comes up next. It's driven by Justin Stein. Riding in this vehicle is Dennis Fleehardy, who was with the Air Force from 1964 to 69. Ken and Bev Stein's 2007 Dodge Super Bee is behind that, driven by Kimberly Stein Burrell. In the back seat are children, Brooks and Briella. And providing a bookend for the parade is the Tehama Shrine. Tehama Shrine has been in Veterans Day Parade since it started. They support Shriners Hospitals, which take care of the handicapped children of any age through age 18, regardless of their ability to pay. It's covered by the Tehama Shriners so that every child has the ability to thrive in life. There are 22 hospitals and a spinal clinic, also a burn center. Once again, our Hastings Police Department. Please give everyone who was in the parade a big round of applause. And thank you very much for coming out this morning. We really appreciate seeing you here, and our veterans appreciate being remembered and recognized for their service.